going? Hope you're all doing well. Sorry I haven't been on for a while. I'm just getting used to my 9 to 5:30 hours, and I don't really have time. I mean, I have time to record, but it's just been like busy and all that good stuff. A lot of meetings, and just fully back into the swing of things. So getting used to, you know, not having those few hours to kind of wake up and do whatever before I start shift has been a shift. But yeah, everything's going really well. I'm loving these hours, and it's so nice. Like at 5:30, I'm like, oh, I can log off now, because I'm so used to having 2 hours to go at that point. So loving it completely. But so I was on Facebook, and I was watching someone's story that I work with, and I absolutely adore this girl. Like, she's just like the coolest person I've probably ever met. Like, I think I have a girl crush on her, but not like that kind of girl crush. I just think she's like the coolest person. And I've told her this to her face. She has the best personality, the best sense of humor. Her laugh is contagious. Like, I love her so much. She's an agent. And I had her on my team for like a short amount of time. One of the easiest agents to manage. She was just like, so like, came in, did her work, didn't like get involved in cliques and that type of shit. She just came in, did her work, did it really freaking well. She's awesome at her job. So I was watching one of her stories, and she posts like a lot of stories. So, you know, when you open it up, you see like a million like little things. Like, she just posts story after story. And she always talks like about her life and like stuff like that. And she was talking about how like she had been crying because like her life is controlled by other people. And it kind of got me thinking, like, there's like, you know, losing control over your life can be like many things. Like, there's a difference between like, oh, my car broke down, and then my I didn't pay my light bill on time. Like, those types of things where things come up that you can't fully control. Like, sometimes you can, but then it's out of your control because like you don't have the money for it, you know what I mean, to like pay the bill. And then there's out of control where people control your life. So whether it's like management at your job, or like, you know, if you live with like a family member, and you know, they kind of add to your daily stressors and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of what's going on with her. She has the manager that I've talked about before, the one that is very micromanaged, like doesn't know what she's doing with her job, like just didn't get the full training, and just micromanages and causes frustration because she doesn't know what she's doing. So she'll call out agents on stuff they're doing. They're like, no, like, this is actually correct how I did it. And she's like, oh, we'll do it this way next time. And it's like, no, that's not how it's done though. So it's very frustrating when you have to deal with a manager that has no clue what's going on, but they act like they do. And they control like you, like moving into a new position and stuff. So it's frustrating, and that's kind of where she's at. But then to also live with a family member that you didn't want to live with you, but they had nowhere else to go, so now they're living with you, and they don't pay rent, they don't help out around the house, and when they do have money, they just spend it on things that they want to spend it on. They don't help. So that's like an additional stressor. So when she was talking about, like, you know, she has all these people that control her life, it's like she's like a puppet in her own world, you know what I mean? Like, everyone else is pulling the strings. And like, how do you deal with that? How do you get out of a situation that you're kind of stuck in? Like, she's, you know, I don't know if she's ever asked like her family member to leave or what, but even like with the job, it's like she's been in this position for years, so she makes I mean, she doesn't make like crazy good money, but to start over would be a pay cut, and she lives on her own basically and supports her and her sister. So it's like, how do you get out of that situation? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could look for another job, but there are so many good things that also kind of come with this job. So it's like you take that risk of going to a place that could have a toxic environment, and then you're also taking a pay cut. And like, I had, like, after my Nana died, I had my mom and her boyfriend move in with me. That was not smart. She had nowhere to go. So what am I gonna do? It's my mom. So her and her boyfriend moved in with me. It was okay at first. Like, she would cook and clean, and it was really nice, and they would give me money towards bills. So it was nice at first, you know. But then her boyfriend relapsed and was out drinking and would come home like all drunk, and it just was like too much to handle. They were supposed to be going halves with me on the rent, and he went out and spent it, so I didn't have enough money for rent. And that's actually when I called my kid's father crying because I had a mental breakdown and quit my job. That's when I worked at the group home. Like, I just couldn't take it. I had been on vacation, and they were calling me my entire vacation because one of the kids that I've talked about her that only listened to me, I was the only one that would actually connect with her. Everyone else was just an asshole to her because she had behavioral issues. But like, if you took the time to like get on her level and like talk to her about things that she liked and like really cared about her, she was amazing, and she would listen. So my entire vacation, they were calling me nonstop. They're like, she's doing this, she won't shower, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, you gotta fucking figure it out. Like, I'm on vacation right now. It was like so frustrating, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going back. Like, I'm done. So I ended up calling my kid's dad crying. I'm like, you know, he relapsed, and I don't have money, and I quit my job, and blah, blah. And like the next day, him and his girlfriend drove a U-Haul up to my house and helped me pack up, and I moved the fuck out. And I moved back in with my ex, and his girlfriend had just moved into his parents' house as well. And his sister was there with her daughter sleeping on the couch. So it was a really full house. It was definitely an interesting time. And that's actually when I met my now boyfriend. I started a job at a medical company. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. Shitty people. But I met him there. So, blessing in disguise. But yeah, it was like, in those moments when I was living there, it was like I had other people that I had to depend on to do their part, and they didn't do their part. And I had no control over whether or not they were going to help. Like, it blew up in my face, you know what I mean? And again, it was my mom. I'm not going to tell her she can't come live with me. You know, when I lived alone, that's when, like, I had, you know, moved out of my kid's dad's house and got my own apartment, and literally could only afford food for the kids, and I would eat their leftovers. But it was my own place. I paid the bills. Like, I did everything that I was supposed to do, and I was like super proud of myself, because the argument, the biggest argument that me and my kid's dad had all the time was I wanted to get an apartment, and he said we can't afford an apartment. We can't afford to live on our own with 2 kids. And I was like, well, I'm not going to live in your mother's house forever. with our kids, like, we're all in a little tiny bedroom. Like, just, that's not how I see my life going, and that was a huge rift between us, and in the end caused us to end our engagement and, you know, everything else after that. So, you know, I was proud to have that apartment, and it was going good for so long, and I was just like so like happy. You know, my kids had their own room, they had their cute little beds, like everything was good. And then it was like, I let them move in, I quit my job because I was fucking going crazy, and I was unmedicated at the time too. So working with behavioral teenage girls that are in the foster system, it was a lot to deal with mentally, because you take that home. Like, people like, oh, leave it at work. It's like, no, you go home to your own home at night. These girls are stuck in, you know, and it was a beautiful house and stuff like that. Like, they weren't living in a dump, but it's like they don't get to go home. And some of them had family, and they just couldn't be with the family because it wasn't a safe environment for them, you know. And they're just like, well, I want to be with my family. And it's like, well, you can't. And that's like a shitty feeling, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine, like, being taken away from my mom. I would have, oh my God, that would have broke my heart, being taken from my mother. I was very close to my mom when I was little. I was definitely a mama's girl. And, you know, it was hard seeing that day in and day out and feeling those emotions. Like, I'm naturally an empath. So it's like everything that they felt, I felt. And it was a very tough job. But, you know, they say everything happens for a reason. And it is so true, because if I hadn't quit that job, moved back in with my ex and his family, got that job at that medical company, I wouldn't have met my boyfriend, and I wouldn't have the life I have right now. Like, meeting him I ended up getting a job where I'm at now because his friend vouched for me and got me an interview. So I wouldn't have met him, I wouldn't have had this job, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in now. You know, we have a good life. Like, you know, we don't go without. We're very lucky. We're not rich by any means. You know, I live paycheck to paycheck. But we have everything we need. And that's like the most important thing to me. The boys have like a stable home. They're constantly shown love and affection, and, you know, they're around people that truly care about them, and I know they feel that. So, you know, as far as me, I'm proud of like where I'm at and everything. I just gotta figure out next steps, you know what I mean? I'm very thankful to have a good job and make enough money to live paycheck to paycheck without going without, you know what I mean? But I decided, you know, this is the year. I want more. What am I gonna do to make that happen? You can't sit and wait for something to fall in your lap. Doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. But yeah, so watching her story just kind of got me thinking about all of that, and it's like, I feel for her because I know her situation, and I wouldn't even know what advice to give her, you know what I mean? Because it's a shitty situation, and like, I never want her to leave because she's just an amazing person. She is an amazing agent, but at the end of the day, like, I feel horrible that she's micromanaged and that she is questioned on her abilities nonstop. And it's like, she could be a supervisor if she wanted to be. She could, because she knows her shit, and she's just a very straightforward but sweet person. Like, she would make an awesome supervisor, but I don't think that's what she wants. She doesn't want, like, I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to do management, you know what I mean? Like, you either want it or you don't. There's no in between. But yeah, I don't know, it got me thinking a lot. And yeah, besides that, not too much is going on. Work has been busy but kind of quiet at the same time. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm used to being able to like relax a few hours before work, and now I don't have that, which is fine because I love the hours. It's just getting used to it. And like my meds, when I first take my meds, they kind of hit me hard, so I'm used to like laying down for a little bit, but I can't do that now. But it's fine, because then after, like, I'll get like really sleepy, whatever, I drink some coffee and like I'll stand in the kitchen and do work for a little bit just to, like, you know, keep my brain moving or whatever, and then I'm fine. My boots are dirty. I woke up to snow this morning. I had no idea it was gonna snow. And then what's weird is over here at the school, there's no snow. So like, I only live 20 minutes from here, but 20 minutes through the city. Like, in actuality, if I could just drive straight through, like, no traffic and all green lights, it would probably take me like maybe 10 minutes to get from here to my house. But that's like never gonna happen. So anywho, I'm hoping to do an ASMR video at some point. I haven't done one. My last one, it was funny, someone left a comment because it was like a hard candy one, and I didn't start with the hard candy. I was like talking for a bit, and they were like, oh, I hate when people like don't start with the candy in their mouth. Like, just put it in your mouth before you start talking. I was like, ew. Like, thanks for the feedback. But yeah, I haven't done one. I have to like be in the mood to like record, and I have to be in the mood to do ASMR, because you're sitting there like whispering to yourself, and it just kind of, or that's the type of ASMR that I do. And it's just, it's cozy, it's tiring to do. So if I'm already tired, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to pop on and say hi, and, you know, I hope you're all doing well and staying warm depending where you are. The weather is like insane everywhere. So stay warm, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon. Hopefully record tomorrow a regular video. But have a great day, and I'll see you guys around.